I'm trying to win the Premier League with every single team. 20 clubs for the next 20 days. And the first team I'm doing is Manchester United, probably one of the worst teams in the Premier League. Just take a look at this team. Other than Fernandes, Onana, and De Ligt, this team is not what it used to be, having the likes of Robin van Persie and Wayne Rooney. However, a huge benefit we have is having 255 million in the transfer budget. However, it's not gonna be that easy. There are only 3 rules I must follow with every club. I absolutely cannot change any of the team's tactics. So for Man United, I will be using a 5-2-3, a formation I have never used. Rule number 2 is I can only make one unrealistic signing. So for example, if we wanted to sign Vinicius Jr. for Man United, even though they're in mid-table right now, we can only do it once, even if we spend 10 seasons here at United. And lastly, the final rule is every other transfer in and out has to be realistic. So for example, someone like Raul Etikite, who's an incredible striker, would join Man United because it is a step up from Frankfurt, even though United don't have UCL football. But not only realistic in the purchasing department, but also in the selling department. Currently, because United are in shambles, if someone like Barcelona or Real Madrid come in for Bruno Fernandes, I cannot reject. I can realistically negotiate, but I could never reject such a big offer like that. So we could easily lose our best players like Bruno, like Lisandro, like Jadon Sancho, like Matthias de Ligt if big offers do come in. So as I take over Man United, I'm gonna go ahead and go for my first signing, and it's going to be the unrealistic one. I was gonna go for Ronaldo, but he has retired, and I'm gonna go ahead and go for Victor Gyokeres instead. And so for only 100 million, we have signed the first signing in the Man United era as me as manager. Victor Gyokeres is joining the club, the only number 9 we'll ever need for the rest of the save to help Man United win their first league title in over 12 years, I believe. However, there is something I forgot to mention. Every time I fail to win the league, no matter what club I'm managing, I will be forced to spin a wheel filled with my first 11, and whoever it lands on, I will have to release from the team, and I cannot re-sign them. So if we don't win the Premier League this season, which is a huge chance we don't, there's a chance that Victor Gyokeres leaves on a free. But now that we have signed our unrealistic signing, everything is realistic from now on, as we have 143 million left to spend on different positions. So I'm not sure if I mentioned, we are starting in the 25-26 season, and this is our current lineup. There's a lot of improvements we can make, but also a lot of young talent here at the club. And remember, I did mention that we have to make this realistic. So here are some players I have transfer listed that I probably do not even want to transfer list, but because they are leaving in real life. So I have now removed all the players that we have transfer listed from the actual starting 11 and subs, and this team just got worse. We definitely need a left winger to sign. I think the center mid positions are all good. Bruno Fernandes is our captain. He's gonna stay as long as a big club doesn't come calling. And Kobe Mainu, I know he's rumored to leave, but I think if we can give him consistent game time, he can stay at Man United. I think our fullback situation is probably the best we have at this club, other than Victor Gyokeres, of course. Doue and Diego Doue will both be starting. And our center backs are looking pretty decent. De Ligt, Martinez, and Lenny Euro. Euro will probably stay for sure. But Lisandro Martinez has been linked to Real Madrid in real life, so he might leave in the save as well. But the main issue is within the squad depth. Look at the players we have on backup. This is not good. So I think we're going to spend majority of our funds that we currently do have as of right now on a left winger, and the rest on substitutes, barring anybody leaves from this club. And the first position I'm going for is a left wing position, and we do have plenty of options here. However, there are some options that I think are frankly a little bit too unrealistic, even though they're linked in real life, and some players that will not help us at all. Tyler Dibbling is my favorite player, but he's simply just not good enough to play in that left wing position. And someone like Rafinha is probably going to win the Ballon d'Or in real life, so there's no chance he's leaving Barcelona to go to Man United. So that leaves us with Semenyo, Kluivert, Yildiz, and Francisco Trincao. And I know Trincao might be the best move. He is technically the best in overall and plays the system that we are playing currently, but I'm not going to go for him either. And I think out of these 3, I think I'm going to go for Kenan Yildiz. We need that a young attacker that can grow into the future, because it might take us 3 to 5 seasons to win the Premier League. So I'm going to go ahead and go for him. And young Turkish superstar Kenan Yildiz is joining Manchester United for a straight swap deal for Jadon Sancho. I think we saved a lot of money, and we could have obviously got a lot of money for Jadon Sancho himself, but I think a straight swap is exactly what we needed here. Yildiz is going to be the new left winger, and I hope he delivers on what we need him to do. And the next position I will be going for is a backup goalkeeper. I know we have Bayundir, but we need somebody else in case Onana does leave the club and we get a huge offer. And we have 2 options here in James Trafford, another English goalkeeper playing for Burnley, and we have Lucas Chevalier. Now this is a tough decision because these are 2 completely different players in 2 different completely periods of their career right now. But I think if we have ambitions to win the Premier League, we cannot sign a championship goalkeeper. We have to sign a goalkeeper who is playing in the Champions League, and Lucas Chevalier. However, he is going for a whopping 90 to 113 mil. I think we're gonna have to pass on him, and I think we have to risk it and go for James Trafford in hopes that he grows and can become our starting keeper if Onana doesn't do the job for us. So we have made our third signing for the club and bringing in probably the best young goalkeeper from England right now, James Trafford, for 20.5 million plus buy-in deal. We're gonna do a lot of swap deals because it's really gonna help us out, and it just makes sense because Man United don't have a lot of money in real life right now and they really are struggling. So we're gonna use these older players as an advantage. And there is 2 positions left of players that I do want to sign, and that is another center back, whether it's sitting on the bench or as a starter, and a backup winger. So I really only had 2 options for the winger position. It was Tyler Dibling, who I'm probably not gonna go for, and Van Axel Dongen, and I think this is exactly who I'm gonna go for as a backup winger. And he is very young and he can easily grow and become a starter one day. And now the more important position is the center back positions. Here are all the center backs that are linked to move to Man United, but there are some that are just frankly unrealistic. Raul will not be joining the club. Dean Housen is linked to the likes of Real Madrid. There's no chance he chooses United. And as good and young as this Yusuf guy is, he's just simply not good enough for this club yet. So that leaves us with Ignacio, Brentwaite, and Todibo. And I think because he's been linked to United for years, I'm gonna go for Jared Brentwaite. And so for 38.5 million plus Tyrell Malacia, we are getting Jared Brentwaite. I could have easily just offered Garnacho, but that is not realistic. He would never go to Everton. So we're also being realistic in that way, as Jared Brentwaite probably is going to start over Lenny Euro until Lenny Euro probably outgrows one of the other center backs. Very happy with the signing. I think he's gonna help us solidify that defense. And so for 5 million, we are bringing, I believe his name was Van Axel, to the squad. A young prospect left winger, and I hope he'll be a good backup and can easily grow to help us eventually win that Premier League title. So this is what the squad is looking like, a little bit stronger than before with the likes of Jared Brentwaite and Yildiz in the lineup, but mainly our bench is looking stronger. So let's go ahead and sim to the end of transfer window, sell the players we have listed, and see if anybody from our starting 11 gets sold, because sometimes we just can't say no. But before we sell players, we are setting up a youth academy. I'm not sure if we're even going to use it because we might win the Premier League in the first time of asking. We never know what's going to happen, but just in case we need it, we will have it ready here. And I think our team is not lacking anywhere in the defensive position, so we're going to ignore that. I think we definitely need some wingers, and I think I'm going to go for some center mids as well. But as Neil goes ahead and goes to a scouting mission, I'll show you guys at the end of the season what Neil brings to our club. Okay, so I've reached the cutoff period of selling players, which is the first game of the season. Luckily, we did not have to sell anybody that wasn't in the transfer list. So here are some of the sales I did make. For those of you that are interested, we did clear out a lot of players, but we're not going to change our squad too much. Most of them were loans anyways. So this is what the squad is looking like for the 25-26 season. Let's see how this United side does in the first season. Can we win the Premier League in the first time of asking? If you guys have enjoyed this video so far, make sure to subscribe. We're so close to 200k subscribers, and the season has come to an end. The question is, where did Man United finish? And it looks like we didn't finish in the bottom 10. That's already a huge improvement. We've already done a good job. Did we finish in the top 4? Because I have something very interesting. No, we finished in 6th place. We have Europa League football. Not that it matters, but it does matter with the signings, meaning we could probably sign better players now because it's more realistic because we have European football. And the next thing I want to see is who won the Premier League title. Did we get any players in the team of the season or a player of the season or golden boot winners? And the Premier League title went ahead and went to Arsenal. The player of the season to Tottenham Hotspur's Pedro Goncalves. That is interesting. While in the team of the season, we did not have any players. That is not a good sign. We need players to be in the team of the season. And the golden boot winner was Pedro Goncalves, while the goalkeeper of the season was David Raya. And it seems like Victor Gyokeres wasn't in the top 5 goal scorers. Was he the wrong signing to make? Our top goal scorer in the entire club was Bruno Fernandes. How bad was this season? And here are the stats this season. 12 and 15 for Bruno Fernandes, and it seems like Gyokeres was injured, only playing 29 games. I'm not gonna sell him. We're gonna give him another chance, but maybe an injury really affected him. But someone like Kenan did amazing. 10 goals, 81 overall. Now Amad Diallo also growing, 93, and it seems we did have a bunch of injuries that may have cursed us. But overall, great season. I did not expect to win the Premier League in the first season. Our squad has improved mainly in overall, and I'm so excited for next season. However, it's time to spin the wheel. We did not win the Premier League, which means one of our players from the starting 11 will be released from the club. All right, here is the starting 11. There is some players we obviously don't want to lose, but let's see what the wheel decides. And we are losing Kenan Yildiz. This is backtracking. We literally signed him, a youngster that could grow, and now he's gone from the club. Kenan Yildiz, who is now an exciting prospect. He would have been one of the world's best for us. He could have helped us win the Premier League title, but he is now leaving on a free. And we are in the exact same problem we were at the start of the season, a huge gap in that left wing position, as Van Axel is still not good enough. However, even though we released Yildiz, there is some excitement. At the end of the season, we did have 3 exciting talents from the youth academy, and Gabriel Wilkinson, Oscar Evans, and Taylor Bailey, who all 3 have an upwards potential of 83. We're gonna go ahead and sign all of them up, and maybe one of these youngsters could be the reason we win the Prem. And make sure to watch the entire series, because we're gonna find out who is the best Premier League team. And we have now rise to the brand new season, and like I said before, the huge gap is in that left wing position. But other than that, if we don't lose anybody, I think I'm fine with this team staying intact other than the bench position. I would like to sign more bench players, typically more wingers. I know we have Evans and we have Bailey, but I'd rather them get game time out on loan, and we just sign some middle of the park wingers just in case somebody gets injured. And for the budget this year, we do have around 300 million. Signing players should not be an issue as long as they're realistic. And immediately, of course, we're fixing the left wing position. Now, we do have 2 players who are probably playing Champions League football right now, and Gyokeres and Doue. Now, we did finish in 6th place. Typically, if we're using the likes of Brighton or Southampton, we sign Europa League players. But because we are Man United, we are such a huge club historically and have a lot of money. These players I could see sacrificing UCL football for playing for a team like United. Now, do we want someone like Gyokeres, who's an experienced player who just won the Golden Boot for Tottenham Hotspur? Come on, you'd rather play for United than Tottenham. Or should we go for a younger option and Doue, a left winger playing for PSG, and have him shine here at Old Trafford? And for 90 million, we're signing yet again another left winger, Doue. I would have loved to keep Kenan Yildiz in the side, but the wheel just decided his fate, and maybe we got an even better exchange. Doue is technically better in overall, but let's see if he even does better than Kenan Yildiz in his first season here at Man United. I hope he can lead us to the Premier League trophy. Now, I did mention I want another backup winger who's more middle of the park to give our youngsters maybe a chance to come up and eventually become a starter. So I'm gonna go for a championship player. He is probably the best championship player in the world right now, Borja Sainz. We're just gonna go ahead and sign him to have him on the bench. So for 30 million, we are bringing, I think, a pretty decent bench player, a rotation player, but who knows, maybe Borja Sainz can somehow become a starter if he just continues to perform coming out the bench. But like I mentioned before, our priority is sending out those youngsters we got from the academy, at least on loan for 1 season, let them grow to half 70s, and then they can come to the bench. And as we add Doue and Sainz to the starting 11 and bench, let's go ahead and send a lot of players out on loan and hope that we don't get any offers where we have to sell one of our players. And literally only 5 days into the transfer window, we have gotten an offer. It's not as damaging, but Patrick Dorgu, someone who I was relying that in a couple years time, if we didn't win the Premier League, he'd become the starter. He's not gonna say no to Real Madrid. We cannot say no to Real Madrid. Dorgu is going to Madrid. So as we reach the cutoff, here are some more players we have sold, most notably just the players on loan and Mason Mount to Arsenal. But now we have to go ahead and sign a backup fullback because Patrick Dorgu is now gone. And instead of a left back, I went ahead and signed a right back instead of for 16 million. We have signed 73 overall Pedro Lima into the squad. So now as Lima joins the squad one more time, this is the final team. Let's go ahead and go to the end of the season and maybe, just maybe, United win the Premier League. All right, we've reached the end of the season. Did we win the Premier League? By the way, Aston Villa relegating is insane, but did we finish at least better than 6? Because that will be an improvement. Champions League football would be incredible because we could get more superstars, and we finished in 4th. We will take that, but 14 points behind City. That is a huge gap that we need to close in the incoming seasons. I already know City won the league title. Did we get a player of the season? No, it's given to Bukayo Saka. Team of the season, any players? Amad Diallo. Okay, that is better than 0, but ideally, I want some more players in there. But Victor Gyokeres, who's a top goal scorer, he wins the Golden Boot. He was on fraud watch last year, but this time, he delivers. And this is what the squad is looking like. Gyokeres, one of the best in the world. Amad Diallo, a shocking 85 rated. Fernandes is an 88, but he's injured. But this team is slowly improving. Dynamic potential is really taking its course. Trafford will probably be a starter at the beginning of next season. Our top goal scorer, we already knew. 38 goals for Gyokeres in all competitions, but 15 and 10 for Amad Diallo, the deserved spot in the team of the season. Borja Sainz with our top left winger scorer. This year, Doue did not do better than Sainz. That is not a good sign. 7 and 5 for Bruno Fernandes. 7 goes off the bench for Højlund. But even Kobe Mainu, now at an 85, by the way, which is insane. 6 and 17, our best assist this season. That's incredible. But don't worry, I'm not beating around the bush. It's time to see who the wheel takes from us. But it's time to see who we're losing in the brand new season. Please don't be anybody good. And Victor Gyokeres is gone. I was hoping for the cop out in Onana because Team Trafford is gonna start anyways. Gyokeres is leaving the club. This is not good, fam. 38 goals, the golden boot win in the Premier League. Victor Gyokeres is gone from the club. We may have lost Gyokeres, but there is some good news. Our youth academy players are growing amazingly. 77, 72, and 72, but mainly Taylor Bailey at a 77. He could be a starter next season if we want him to. But the youth academy prospects aren't the only one. Chido Obi has gone up to a 77, another huge growth spurt for the team. Should we maybe keep him on the bench, sell Hoyland, and just get an older striker, and maybe Chido Obi could lead us to that Premier League trophy? But we have a lot to think about, so let's go ahead and go to the brand new season. Other than Rasmus Hoyland, basically everybody in the starting 11 is a superstar. Now there is some clear issues other than Rasmus Hoyland. Desiree Doue did not have the best season. Maybe we sign another left winger. Do we move Doue to the bench? Or do we maybe give him another chance, loan out the youth academy graduates one more time and hope that one of them is good enough to replace him just in case he has another bad season? But the main thing I'm worried about is that all of these players are reaching the overall rating where Real Madrid or Barcelona will come calling, so I hope I don't lose anybody. But now I think it's time for an improvement in both fullback positions, mainly that right back position. And we will have 398 million, so money is not an issue. And I think I found two players that could solve our problems. The first one being a new striker in Marcus Thuram, the highest overall rating, but he could definitely grow still a little bit at 29 years old and could definitely score some goals. And not only that, not signing a young striker could allow Chido Obi to get into a starting 11 maybe by next season. And the second is a fullback, Jeremy Frimpong, one of the best in the world playing for Tottenham. Why would he want to play for Tottenham when he could play for the legendary Man U? And so for a straight swap for Rasmus Hoyland, who is years younger, Bayern would be dumb to say no because Marcus Thuram is probably their backup striker, is joining Manchester United. I believe he can score a good 15 goals with the help of Amad Diallo, who shined last season, and thank God we did not have to release him. And maybe if we don't win the Premier League this season, Chido Obi will be the starting striker, and surely he will win us the Premier League. And for 90 million, we have signed one of the best right backs in the world. Jeremy Frimpong is leaving Tottenham, so we're weakening a rival that could rival us for the Premier League title, and we're bringing him to improve our squad and to hopefully also win us that Premier League. But I'm very happy for the signing. It might be the last signing we make, barring if we lose anybody else. And you know what? I took a look around to see if there's any left backs. The fact that Milos Kerkez is in his prime, playing for Girona, there is no chance he should be playing in that team in Spain. We're signing him up and he's replacing Diego Dalot. And so for 80 million plus Mazraoui, we are getting Milos Kerkez. Our both fullback positions have already improved, but we also have Pedro Lima, I believe, as backup for right back, and Diego Dalot, who could play on both sides as backup. I think this is a huge signing that can help us push for the league title this year. We should definitely finish in the top 2 with these 3 signings that we have made. And now this is the brand new squad. Let's see if we can maintain every single one of our players. And the deadline has been reached. Here are the transfers. Once again, we really dodged the bullet. Thank God Man United have a huge history. But let's see how the squad does. Is this the year they win the Champions League? And the season has come to an end. This has to be the season they won the Premier League. Please, Man United, at least finish above 4th place, and they did. 3rd place, oh my days, boys, did they win the Premier League? And no, they missed out by 9 points, but we're getting so close to destroying City's gap in the Premier League. All right, but let's see who got the player of the season. And Bruno Fernandes, our very own. That is insane. Team of the season, only De Ligt. How the hell is Bruno Fernandes in there if you got player of the year? But whatever. And this is what the squad is looking like. Oh my days, everybody is over the rating of 85. James Trafford at an 88 is absolutely ridiculous, by the way. But even the bench, Chido Obi has gone all the way to an 84. He's definitely gonna start next season, whether or not we lose to Ram. We want that youngster playing for us. Borja Sainz going up. Ugarte, even though he doesn't play a lot of football, he's still going up. And even Lenny Yoro still hasn't reached the starting 11. That's crazy. But in terms of our stats, Bruno Fernandes and Thuram tied for our top goal scorer, but Bruno Fernandes undisputed the best player in our team. Desiree Doue did have a better season this year, 12-3, but Borja Sainz is really cooking from the bench, man. Amad Diallo had more of a disappointing this time around, but Chido Obi did get 7 goals, but he's going to be a starter next year, and Kobe Mainu with another superstar season. But now it's time to spin the wheel. If we lose somebody crucial, we could lose all our progress and end up below the top 4 next year. I'm just really hoping we don't lose a huge player here, and it's going to be Matthijs de Ligt. Has probably been our best defender, but Lenny Yoro is waiting on the wings. I think this is fine. So there goes Matez de Ligt. Probably our best center back is leaving the club. But just take a look. Taylor Bailey, 84 rated now. He's definitely going to be in the first team. Whether he's going to start in 11 or not, he's going to be sitting on the bench. Oh wait, Oscar Evans and Gabriel Wilkinson, you know what? No more going out alone. They could be part of the squad and see if they get any appearances. Oh boys, next season might be the season we win the Prem. Now in the brand new season, this squad is looking absolutely amazing. I'm only going to sign bench players, mainly bench center backs, because we literally don't have any more center backs other than Haven, and she's trash. And the two center backs I'm going to go for backups is Malik Thiaw, now at an 85 at Frankfurt, and Christian Mosquera. We just need some squad depth, because if somebody gets injured, we're not winning the Premier League that way. And for 80 million, Malik Thiaw is joining the side. This will also guarantee that if Real Madrid, Barcelona, City, and potentially Bayern Munich come in for any of our center backs, we have already replaced them. I said those clubs because they're the only clubs that are really bigger than us at this point. For 55 million, Christian Mosquera is going to be the second backup center back. These are some very good signings. Let's see if we have to sell anybody. And there it is. We have gotten an offer from our fullback, Jeremy Frimpong, 96 million. We cannot deny this. Man City have won the league title for the past 3 seasons in this save. Even though a lot of players don't go from Manchester to Manchester, this is just simply gonna happen. And yet again, another player from Man City. It's not too much of a problem. Gabriel Wilkinson, a youth academy graduate. I'm debating on whether to accept this, but if Man United got 120 million for a youngster like this who's only been out on loan, they would accept this. So we're losing a youth academy graduate. I'm just glad it isn't Bailey. So there it is, 96 million and 120 million. We have strengthened our rivals not only for the future but for the here and now. We must replace at least Jeremy Frimpong. And now I've chosen an interesting offer here. Raul Asencio is typically a center back, but he can't play right back, and I don't know why. He just screams Manchester United. Like one day he's gonna join the club. So you know what? I'm gonna go for the Real Madrid youngster. And Real Madrid have made a mistake, boys. They have not renewed his contract. So he has a 28 million release clause. Oh, we're definitely taking that. And for literally only 28 million, we're signing Raul Asencio. It is a downgrade from Jeremy Frimpong, but I'm sure if we even need to go that far, in a couple seasons time, he'll be better than him, because he is one of the best center backs in the world right now. Let's just hope that he can fit in and perfectly fine at right back. And now this is the final team for the season. Asencio will surely enough be able to play right back, not at a -4 very soon, but let's see how this team does. This might be the year we win the Premier League, and this has to be the season. Did Man United do it with an incredible team that we do have? The end of the season has arrived. We're in the top 4. We're in the top 2. The Premier League is ours, and no! By only 6 points this time. The City dominance is unreal. Maybe the selling of Frimpong and our youngster may have helped them win the league title there. We don't know. Oh, come on, man. We're this close. And as City win the league, the player of the season goes to Anthony Gordon, who is playing for City. That makes sense. Team of the season. Once again, only one player, man. Let's see how this team did then. And when you take a look at the squad, this is a Premier League winning side, in my opinion. Just look at all these players. We should be winning the Prem, but there's clearly an issue. Our forwards are not scoring enough, or our defenders are conceding too much, or maybe Man City are too strong and need some weakening. And our top goal scorer this season was Marcus Thuram, so it seems like Chido Obi hasn't been passed the torch just yet, but he is scoring a lot of goals. Bruno Fernandes, 40 goal contributions in all competitions again, and Borja Sainz even is cooking from the bench. Amad Diallo with 15 and 14, and even Bailey, who seemed like he got a huge injury, only playing 25 games, 11 and 8, and Chido Obi, like I said, 5 and 3. This squad is incredible. What is going on? But as you guys know, we didn't win the Prem. It's time to spin the wheel. And notice how I did put Thuram. I thought Obi would start, but we put Thuram back in because he was the starter. But the question is, who is leaving the club? Who is getting released today? And it's Doue. You know what? I'm not too mad about that, but we're losing another superstar. I mean, everyone's a superstar in our lineup. And you know what? Desiree Doue was never too impressive, but he is leaving the side regardless. But it's time to head into season number 6, I do believe. Let's just hope that we can win it next year. And now in the brand new season, season number 6, like I mentioned, I do believe this squad is fine. I don't think I'm gonna make any replacements Obviously, if we do lose a player due to Real Madrid, Barcelona, City, or Bayern Munich coming, we will sell them. But I think the only signing I'm going to make, I'm actually going to keep Borja Sainz because he's been cooking from the bench. I'm going to sign a player to sit on the bench for Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is 34 years old. He's still cooking, but somebody around the 86 to 88 overall to sit on the bench. In case Bruno does go down, I think that might be the only move we're doing this season. We got the likes of Chido Obi on the bench. We got Evans. We got Wheatley, who's pretty decent. We got Bailey. This squad is perfectly fine. I just think maybe let's look into City's squad and try to take somebody from them. Just a heads up, we have 500 million. Money is not an issue at this club. You see now, there is two players that City do have that are astounding midfielders, Pablo Gavi and Zaire Emery. The question is, would any of these two players join us? Is this realistic? So now I have come to the decision that Zaire Emery would not betray a club like that. He just doesn't seem like the type of guy to do that. However, Pablo Gavi is a little bit more controversial. I could see him switching sides in Manchester just because he feels like it. He's won 4 league titles with City, but I'm not gonna risk it. I don't want to ruin the video to say maybe this is not realistic. So instead, I'm going to go for Jude Bellingham, playing for Atletico Madrid. Of course, he'd come back to the Premier League playing for one of the best teams in England. And once again, Atletico Madrid have made a mistake, and his release clause is 81 million. We could have spent around 200 million, but we're taking this steal right here. And for 81 million, we probably have signed a top 5 midfielder in the world at this stage, 6 seasons in. Jude Bellingham is joining Manchester United. I think this is the signing. I think this is the signing that gets us to win the Premier League. And not only has Jude Bellingham joined the squad, but we also did not receive any offers. I signed Bellingham and then I simmed and we got absolutely nothing. So I think this is the year, boys. I think this is the year we win the Prem. Let's go to the end of the season and find out. And we have reached the end of the season. This has to be the one. This has to be the time that Man United have won the Premier League. The question is, did they do it? Did we finally end Man City's reign of terror? And yes, we have. We have won the Premier League with Manchester United for the first time since 2013. And as we won the Premier League, did we get another player this season player? Yes, Bruno Fernandes has done it. And the team of the season, we finally get more than one player in Bruno Fernandes and Raul Asencio. And just take a look at this squad. You cannot tell me this is not a Premier League winning side. And you cannot write this. 6 years ago, Bruno was the best player, and 6 years later, he still is. 30 and 30, 60 goal contributions. That surely is a Ballon d'Or for him. Chido Obi finally had his breakout season, 29 and 4. Everybody else did very well, but I am disappointed. Where is Bailey? Bailey at an 89 overall, only 3 goals and 2 assists. I thought he was going to be the next best player here at our side, but he just simply wasn't. And as of right now, Man United sit in first place. But we have officially won the Premier League with Man United. Who is next? And if you guys enjoyed this video, you guys are definitely going to enjoy me making Roma the world's best team. Click right there.